Before we begin today, I'd like you to try something simple. No equipment, no standing up, no special fitness level required. Just answer a few questions honestly. By the end of the next minute, you'll have a better idea of how well your legs may be supporting healthy circulation right now. Give yourself 5 points to start. For each statement that sounds familiar, subtract 1 point. Ready? First question. Do your feet often feel cooler than the rest of your body, even when the room feels comfortable? If yes, subtract 1 point. Second question. Do your legs sometimes feel unusually tired, heavy, or sluggish after a normal day, even if you haven't been particularly active? If yes, subtract 1 point. Third question. Have you noticed that your socks leave marks around your ankles, or that your shoes feel tighter later in the day? Subtract 1 point if that sounds familiar. Fourth question. Do you occasionally wake up because of discomfort or tightness in your calves or lower legs during the night? If yes, subtract 1 point. And finally, do you find yourself needing to shift positions often because your legs simply don't feel as comfortable as they used to? If yes, subtract 1 more point. Now take a look at your score. If you still have 4 or 5 points, that's excellent. It suggests that your circulation habits may already be supporting your body well. If you scored 2 or 3 points, consider it a friendly reminder that your body could benefit from a little more movement throughout the day. And if your score is 1 point or lower, don't worry. This is not a judgment. It's simply a starting point. In fact, many people notice the biggest improvements when they begin with the most room for progress. I recommend writing your score in the comments below. Not because anyone is grading you, but because in 2 weeks, you'll be able to compare where you started and where you are after practicing the simple routine I'm about to show you. Today, we're going to focus on something many people overlook. Your legs are not just there to help you walk. They play a major role in helping blood move throughout your body. And as the years go by, many people spend more time sitting than they realize. Television, reading, computer time, phone calls, driving, meals. The hours add up. The good news is that you do not need a gym membership. You do not need expensive equipment. And you certainly do not need intense exercise. The 3 movements in today's video can be performed while sitting comfortably in a chair. The entire routine takes only a few minutes. We'll begin with the simplest exercise and gradually work our way to the most powerful one. And stay with me until the end, because I'll also share 3 daily habits that can make a surprisingly large difference in how your legs feel. Before we start, let me explain something important. Many people assume that the heart does all the work when it comes to circulation. The heart is certainly powerful, but it also receives help. Every time the muscles in your legs contract, they gently squeeze the blood vessels running through them. That squeeze helps encourage blood to continue moving in the direction it is supposed to go. When we sit completely still for long periods, those helpful muscle contractions become less frequent. That's one reason many people notice stiffness, heaviness, or discomfort after sitting too long. Fortunately, even small movements can help. Let's begin. Exercise number 3. The seated lift. Sit comfortably in a sturdy chair. Keep your back tall but relaxed. Place both feet flat on the floor. Now slowly lift your right knee a few inches. Pause briefly. Then lower it with control. Now lift your left knee. Pause. And lower. Continue alternating sides. There is no need to rush. In fact, slower is often better. As you lift, focus on gently tightening the muscles at the front of your thigh. Try not to swing your leg. Try not to lean backward. Instead, allow the muscles themselves to do the work. Imagine that every lift is sending a message to your lower body. A message that says, "It's time to wake up and get moving." Continue at a comfortable pace. If you were exercising with me right now, I would encourage you to breathe normally and relax your shoulders. Many people unknowingly hold tension in their neck and upper body. Keep everything loose. Just focus on smooth, controlled movement. One reason I like this exercise is because almost everyone can do some version of it. Even a small lift counts. Consistency matters far more than perfection. After about a minute, many people begin to notice a gentle feeling of warmth in their thighs or lower legs. That warmth is often a sign that the muscles are becoming more active. And active muscles are exactly what we want. Now here's something worth thinking about. Most people spend years looking for complicated solutions. Yet the human body often responds remarkably well to simple actions repeated consistently. 5 minutes today, 5 minutes tomorrow, 5 minutes next week. Small efforts accumulate. Just as a few drops of water can eventually fill a bucket, a few minutes of movement performed daily can gradually become a powerful habit. And that's exactly what we're building here. A habit. Not a temporary challenge. Not a quick fix. A habit that supports your body day after day. Now that we've started waking up the larger muscles of the legs, let's move on to the next exercise, which adds another important movement pattern and may help your legs feel even more energized. Now let's move on to exercise number 2. This movement adds something important. We're going to engage both the upper and lower portions of the leg at the same time. And when those muscle groups work together, many people find that their legs feel lighter and more awake afterward. Sit comfortably with both feet flat on the floor. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Now slowly straighten your right leg in front of you. Only go as far as feels comfortable. There is no prize for forcing the movement. Once your leg is extended, gently point your toes forward. Hold for a moment. Then slowly pull your toes back toward your shin. Pause again. Now lower your foot back to the floor. Let's repeat. Extend. Point. Pull back. Lower. Smooth and controlled. That's the key. Now switch to the left side. Extend. Point. Pull back. Lower. Excellent. Continue alternating sides. As simple as this movement looks, several different muscle groups are becoming active at the same time. The muscles at the front of the thigh engage during the extension. The muscles in the lower leg engage when you point and flex the foot. This combination creates a gentle pumping action throughout the entire leg. And that pumping action is one reason movement often feels so refreshing. Many people underestimate the importance of the lower leg. In reality, the muscles below the knee work hard every time you walk. Every step creates activity that helps keep the body moving efficiently. But when we spend long periods sitting, those muscles don't receive the same opportunity. That's why even seated movements can be valuable. Now, if fully straightening the knee feels uncomfortable, that's perfectly fine. Work within your own range. You might only extend halfway. You might extend a little farther next week. The goal is not flexibility. The goal is movement. Remember that. Movement is often more important than perfection. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they must do everything perfectly before they begin. But the body responds to consistency, not perfection. A gentle routine performed regularly often produces more noticeable benefits than an ambitious routine that gets abandoned after a few days. As you continue these extensions, pay attention to how your legs feel. Do they feel warmer, more awake, more energized? Many people report subtle changes even after the first session. Now I'd like to share something interesting. Think about what happens during a typical day. Perhaps you sit while drinking coffee, then sit while reading the news, then sit during lunch, then sit while watching television. Before you know it, several hours have passed. The body was designed for movement. Not necessarily intense exercise, just movement. Frequent movement. That is why small interruptions throughout the day can be surprisingly powerful. You don't have to walk a mile. You don't have to spend an hour exercising. Sometimes a minute here and a minute there can make a meaningful difference over time. And that brings us to our most important exercise, the one I recommend most often, the one you can perform almost anywhere, and the one many people continue doing long after they've finished this video. Exercise number 1, the seated heel raise. Sit comfortably with both feet on the floor. Position your feet about hip-width apart. Keep your toes and the front part of your feet resting on the ground. Now slowly raise both heels. Lift them as high as feels comfortable. Pause at the top, then slowly lower them. That's 1 repetition. Let's do another. Lift, pause, lower. Again. Lift, pause, lower. Notice how simple this feels, yet something important is happening. The muscles in the back of your lower legs are working. Many health professionals often refer to these muscles as one of the body's most important natural pumping systems. Every time they contract, they help support healthy movement throughout the lower body. That's why this exercise is so valuable. It is simple enough to do while reading. Simple enough to do while talking on the phone. Simple enough to do while watching television. Yet it encourages regular muscle activity exactly where many people need it most. Continue lifting and lowering at a steady rhythm. No rushing, no bouncing, just smooth movement. As the muscles begin working, you may notice a mild sensation of effort. That's normal. It simply means the muscles are awake and participating. Now imagine performing this movement while watching a 30-minute television program. Even if you only complete a few sets, that's far more movement than doing nothing at all. And over time, those small choices begin to add up. One day becomes a week. A week becomes a month. A month becomes a habit. And habits are often where meaningful changes begin. For those who would like a slightly greater challenge, try lifting 1 heel at a time. Raise the right heel. Lower. Raise the left heel. Lower. This variation asks each leg to work a little harder while still remaining gentle and accessible. But remember, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the basic version. In fact, for many people, the basic version is all they need. The goal isn't to make the exercise difficult. The goal is to make it sustainable. Something you can realistically continue doing. Because the best exercise is not the most impressive one. The best exercise is the one you actually do. And that's why this movement earns the #1 position on today's list. Now let's put everything together into a simple daily routine. The seated lift for 1 minute. The leg extension with toe flex for 10 repetitions on each side. The seated heel raise for 2 minutes. That's it. The entire routine can be completed in about 5 to 6 minutes. Most people spend more time deciding what to watch on television than they would spend completing these movements. And yet these few minutes may become one of the most valuable investments you make in your daily comfort and mobility. I personally recommend doing the routine sometime during the afternoon or early evening. Why? Because this is often when people begin noticing that their legs feel heavier after a full day of sitting, standing, driving, or simply going about their normal activities. A short session can help break up that pattern. Now, as promised, let's talk about 3 simple circulation-supporting habits that many people overlook. Bonus habit number 1. Pay attention to when you drink water. Most people focus only on how much water they drink. But timing matters too. A common pattern looks something like this. Very little water in the morning. A little more at lunch. And then several large glasses in the evening. The problem is that your body spends much of the day trying to function with less hydration than it would prefer. Instead, consider spreading most of your fluid intake throughout the first half of the day. Start your morning with a full glass of water. Continue drinking regularly during the morning and afternoon. Then ease back slightly during the evening. Many people find this approach more comfortable and easier to maintain. Bonus habit number 2. Let's talk about 1 helpful food and 1 common sitting habit. First, the food. Colorful vegetables. Especially deeply colored vegetables such as beets, red cabbage, spinach, and leafy greens. These foods contain naturally occurring compounds that support overall vascular health and fit beautifully into a balanced eating pattern. You don't need anything exotic, You don't need expensive supplements. Often, simple foods enjoyed consistently are enough. Now for the habit. Take a moment and think about how you're sitting right now. Are your legs crossed? If so, gently uncross them. Crossing your legs occasionally isn't something to panic about. But remaining in that position for long periods may place unnecessary pressure on certain areas of the lower body. A more open sitting position generally allows your muscles and joints to remain more relaxed. Small adjustments matter. Bonus habit number 3. This may be the simplest tip in today's entire video. I call it the 20-second reset. Here's how it works. Anytime you've been sitting for a while, give yourself 20 seconds of movement. That's it. 20 seconds. March your feet. Perform a few heel raises. Stand up and stretch. Walk to the kitchen. Move in any way that feels comfortable. The goal isn't exercise. The goal is interruption. You're interrupting long periods of stillness. And over the course of a day, those interruptions can add up surprisingly quickly. Imagine doing this 10 times a day. Now imagine doing it every day for a month. Small actions repeated consistently often create results that large actions performed occasionally never achieve. And that's a lesson that extends far beyond circulation. It applies to almost everything in life. Now let's return to the score you calculated at the beginning of this video. Remember that number? Whatever it was, treat it as information. Not as a label, not as a prediction, and certainly not as a limitation. Your body is constantly adapting, responding, adjusting, supporting you. The question is whether we're giving it the opportunity to do so. That's why I have a simple challenge for you. Try these exercises once a day for the next 2 weeks. That's all. No complicated programs, no expensive equipment, no drastic lifestyle changes. Just a few minutes of intentional movement. Then come back and take the same self-check again. Notice how your legs feel. Notice how your energy feels. Notice whether moving around the house feels easier. Notice whether your legs feel more comfortable at the end of the day. Sometimes the most meaningful progress doesn't arrive all at once. Sometimes it arrives quietly. One day you simply realize that something feels better than it did before. And that realization is worth celebrating. If you're joining me for this 2-week challenge, write "I'm in" the comments below. I love seeing people take that first step. And if you've already been practicing simple daily movement habits, share what's worked best for you. Your experience might help someone else who's just getting started. If you found today's video helpful, please consider subscribing. Every week we share practical ideas designed to help you stay active, confident, and independent as the years go by. And if there's someone in your life who often talks about tired, heavy, or uncomfortable legs, send this video to them. Sometimes the smallest piece of encouragement is exactly what someone needs. Thank you for spending these minutes with me today. Take care of yourself. Take care of your legs. They've supported you through countless walks, errands, adventures, and memories. Now it's your turn to give them a little support in return. And I'll see you in the next video.